very good afternoon to everyone. Please let me welcome you to this side event. I'm going to pass the floor to the moderator, but before doing that, I just wanted to welcome you on the name of Spain and the Spanish Agency of International Cooperation. And these welcoming remarks that I wanted to give very briefly is in order to state the reinforcement of the Adaptation Fund, the strength that Spain gives to this Adaptation Fund, and how committed we are with it. Adaptation is crucial in the fight against climate change. We've seen it in Valencia nowadays, in Spain. We have a climate crisis that is affecting everywhere in the world. Now it's Valencia, but tomorrow could be anywhere in the world, and being adapted and prepared, it's crucial. So with those words, I just give the floor to the moderator. Thank you very much.
What? Oh. Don't tap it. ¿Listo? Okay. Oh.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us at this event. And on behalf of the Adaptation Fund, I welcome you to our side event, which focuses on capturing lessons learned from the Adaptation Fund's portfolio and new financing windows under the MTS, our medium-term strategy. We thank our host, the government of Spain, through the Ministry of Ecological Transition and the Demographic Challenge, who invited us to collaborate in this event. It is a pleasure to have with us today the board chair of the Adaptation Fund, and we would like to welcome him at this time, Lucas, to the podium to bring some brief remarks on behalf of the chair of the on behalf of the Adaptation Fund board. Lucas, please.
Thank you very much, Miranda, and thank you, gracias a España. Thank you, Spain, for hosting us here at this important event. Also, I want to thank the panelists and the audience. I know that the agenda is fully packed, and so thank you for taking the time to be with us today. First, I would like to say that, as you know, the Adaptation Fund, the work of the Adaptation Fund is a partnership, and as any partnership, it depends on its members and its all these partners. So all of you here, they are key for our success. The fund finances concrete projects that helps the most vulnerable communities and in developing countries since its beginning to adapt and to build resilience to the impacts of climate change. Many of these projects are replicable and scalable. That's our main goal, to scale our action. It has been delivering tangible results, flexible climate finance and knowledge since its launch 17 years ago. At the time being, as you know, the Adaptation Fund serves both the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Agreement. We are in the process of transitioning from Kyoto to Paris. That will be finished once the Article 6.4 is the negotiations are concluded. So we're expecting that to happen at the end of, well, we'll see. I don't want to say a date. But also we support the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Goals as an overall framework for development and adaptation to climate change. The fund has grown rapidly to committing over $1.2 billion to more than 180 projects serving more than 45 million beneficiaries. The total number of projects in Latin America account to 43 at the moment, representing around 23% of the portfolio of the fund, with a total disbursement of around $320 million. The AF has expanded its offering in tandem with the ever-growing global adaptation needs. As you know, the latest adaptation gap report from UNEP has pointed that this bridge between needs and finance is growing. The needs for adaptation are getting bigger and bigger, and the finance is not there yet. Let's hope that this COP, which has been called the Finance COP, will deliver at least the first strong signals regarding finance in general, but particularly for adaptation. But the fund has been doubling its offer of resources for countries. We doubled the country cap from 10 million to 20 million, but also we have regional windows which can allow countries to present a project with other countries. And also we have different thematic windows, like the innovation window, and also the recently approved window for locally led adaptation, that we hoped it will be a great success since its main objective is to support adaptation on the ground and for local communities. Through its country-led program, projects target to local adaptation needs, it's reached the most vulnerable communities with urgently needed adaptation solution. It has growing range of implementation partners. This is and also empowering marginalized groups such as youth, women, among others. We have its portfolio directed to least developed countries and small island states. Very often the fund projects are the first adaptation action on the ground across the globe and are producing both immediate benefits to the most vulnerable communities, but also valuable experiences and lessons that can be later scaled up or replicated by others to help meet the tremendous adaptation needs we are facing. Close to 20 projects have been later scaled up with added funding. Among its flexible and innovative finance modalities, the Adaptation Fund has been pioneer in direct access, which allows countries to strengthen the capacity, the local capacity and the ownership in adaptation, but empowering developing countries to access finance and manage the projects directly. About 30% of the fund portfolios are implemented through direct access. And we are pushing forward for countries to use this modality of direct access even further. As we see the urgency of climate change continue to rise with increase in sea level rise, temperature, floods, droughts, frequency and intensity of storm, the AEF has been receiving record demands for projects over the last several years. With the latest adaptation gap report that I mentioned before, showing adaptation needs to be more than 50% higher than previously estimated, and the AEF growing pipeline of projects not yet funded, now reaching around more than $400 million in the next 5-year strategy, which is aimed to scaling adaptation. The fund also works actively in complementarity and coherence with other funds to maximize support and simplify access for developing countries. The access is always something that the implementing agencies and beneficiaries are bringing up as a main concern, not only before the Adaptation Fund, but also Green Climate Fund, the CHEF, or the multilateral climate funds. Furthermore, with the large portfolio of adaptation projects and long experience as a pioneer and innovator on adaptation finance, the funds contributes to minimize the losses and damages associated with the adverse effects of climate change through disaster risk reduction and early warning system projects. As you know, these are key pillars in the disaster risk reduction strategy and also a main component of the global goal on adaptation. Finally, and closing, the Adaptation Fund is a key channel for enhanced adaptation action and stands ready to continue supporting countries in fulfilling their enhanced ambition under the Convention and its Paris Agreement. I thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for your intervention. It is indeed a privilege for the Adaptation Fund to stand alongside our implementing entities and developing countries in helping you to bring forth your pipeline for adaptation. And at this time, I wish to welcome the head of programming and innovation, the one who moves these projects along with a team of supporting staff like myself, Ms. Saliha Dubadzik, to bring some few words on the portfolio.
Thank you very much, Naranda. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here, and many thanks to our colleagues with the government of Spain for offering to host this event here. This is an opportunity for us to share a little information and some updates about the Adaptation Fund. I'm going to keep my remarks brief, but I do want to, in the context of this COP, really share the message about the importance of the work in adaptation, that not just the Adaptation Fund is doing, but that all the actors operating in the adaptation space are doing, especially as we confront a world where it's becoming increasingly obvious that adaptation is a necessity, that it is urgent, that it is severely underfunded. And so it's important for us to know the work that we're doing. It's important for all of us to sort of understand what the opportunities there are, and we hope that you will be helping us in spreading the word and awareness about the work and the opportunities that the Adaptation Fund offers. So the Adaptation Fund is now a funding vehicle of with a portfolio of $1.2 billion. It has over 180 projects on the ground in around 110 countries worldwide in the developing world. We have substantial investments in all the regions of the South. And very often these projects and interventions were the very first ones for the country to, very first opportunity to access, let's say, climate finance for adaptation. And the way that the Adaptation Fund has been supporting countries is in two ways. One is to help build readiness through direct access, support to the national implementing entities of the countries to get themselves ready to access finance. So we do this through a process of accreditation where we make sure, but we also provide support to get them to be ready if they aren't already, if they don't have all the systems in place to receive and substantial amounts of funding, and also to implement adaptation projects. Of course, the other way is that we provide that funding for projects, and since the establishment of the fund, the range of the financial offerings that of the Adaptation Fund has increased and has differentiated in order to better suit the needs of the countries. We started off by offering single country project funding. So this is the funding that all countries that are party to Kyoto or Paris Agreement are eligible to access, all developing countries. And so at this time, any country can access up to $20 million for projects, for any adaptation project that is the country's priority. We don't, the Adaptation Fund does not impose any priorities on countries. Whatever the countries wish to invest in that is in line with their national plans and priorities, as evidence in their strategies and reports like NDCs and NAPs. is fine by us, and we are sector agnostic. We really are not prescriptive in any sort of thematic or sectoral way towards countries when they attempt to access their funding from the single country cap. Since then, we have established regional funding window, which allows countries, 2 or more countries within a region, to access projects of up to $14 million. And this has been a very popular window. Obviously, adaptation is, climate change is not an issue that respects borders. And adaptation can be very effective when, in certain cases, countries within a region cooperate and take action in a concerted way, capitalizing on economies of scale or some synergies, for example, due to similar language